Welcome back to the channel. This is Off the Pitch, brought to you by Azar Studios. If you join us for the very first time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this page rather. And if you, of course, are watching us for the first time, don't be surprised. It's still your regular Football Temple channel. However, we are going off the pitch rather, and we'll stick in England. Earlier, we went to Silverstone, but right now, we're still in England, and we'll be talking the Wimbledon. A weekend where Carlos Alcaraz, of course, continued to show and prove that he is still the man to watch out for. It is aiming to make it back-to-back title as they advance to the quarterfinals in England. In the women's event, world number one, Sabalenka, also advanced to the quarterfinals, but it was the end of the road for British number one. It was an interesting match, but at the end of the day, it was the world number one who prevailed over the British world number one, and there was also a bit of controversy with technology.
Yeah.
Uncanny Sam, let's start with the technology controversy before we come to Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah, that's one thing. See, the truth is, I always say you can never remove error from sport.
Absolutely.
Human beings are human beings.
Absolutely.
And we're bound to make mistakes. So when we put this extra effort to make it look so spotless, so perfect, we end up just messing ourselves up. I remember it happens even with football. Remember the eagle eye thing? There goes that way. There was supposed to be goal, but because there was an obstruction, the eagle eye couldn't pick it. Yes. And it became a problem. The same thing. I mean, for 147 years, you were using line judges. Then all of a sudden, you say you're not going to use line judges. Well, I understand because almost every other
sport is switching to technology.
That technology. But you actually test it to a particular. Well, they say they've tested it. Then all of a sudden, they're playing against. I mean, you know the most fortunate thing.
They put it off.
They put it off.
How do you put? But before even off, there was issue between Sabalenka and Raducanu.
Yes,
Raducanu fell. She lost as a result of the malfunctioning of the
line technology.
Yeah, what they call it, electronic line calling, right?
Yeah.
ELC. Yeah, that's what make her lost. Then it became obvious. Apart from some other people have actually complained. Then it became obvious.
Now,
in the
automated
game.
line calling.
Yeah, automated line calling, which is using that electronic line calling. Now, the thing is this, right? It happens in a manner that switch off, you could actually suspect that something was actually wrong because a British player was playing. Talking about trying to remember her name.
Katie Butler?
No, Katie Butler.
Kratl. Yes.
Yeah. Sonakata, right?
Yeah.
She was playing against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. And Pavlyuchenkova felt this was deliberate. They wanted me.
Yeah, because at that point she could have gone 5-4 up.
Yes. That it was meant to favor the British player. Because they wanted me not to go further.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
Well,
but if she had lost, she would have stood on her ground.
Even you and I probably would have
actually
agreed, right? Because I think we're talking about it in this manner.
It's easier to speak because she won.
Yeah.
Because she won. So if something was wrong, and you remember the game Shelton versus Rich Carter or what? I'm trying to remember his name. No, is it Rich Carter or this thing? Do you know that Shelton was to serve the last?
And then the referee called off and said the light is bad to the next day.
And the reason is because the way that was beginning, the darkness was beginning to affect that same technology.
Yeah.
So they have to go and come back next day. And in 7 seconds, the match was done. So why, you understand? 7 seconds, they have to raise, come back, stand, and listen. In 7 seconds,
the umpire said that they couldn't
serve, and that was it. In 7 seconds,
the umpire said they couldn't see.
Not the umpire, even the electronic light calling too was significantly affected by darkness.
Yeah.
So they need to just make sure that place. But the other part, naturally, we know how what they call it, the old England tennis club do their thing. It doesn't go beyond that time. 11 o'clock. They say resident needs to be not to be disturbed and everything. But so I feel this is the first time. So I'm going to excuse them on that ground. I am going to excuse them on that ground. This is the first time I'm going to excuse them on that ground. I believe going forward, this shouldn't happen. I remember they're still back and forth with the VAR, but it's still getting better.
It's getting better.
Now, in their own case, this is not the first time. Like, okay, the only Grand Slam that is not using it, that are not using any technology is the French Open.
Yeah.
Because when the ball drops, you can see the way the ball drops.
Yeah,
even though there are at times there are issues, but it's not as much as other this thing. On the court, when the ball drops, you're not going to see anything. Yeah. No, on the court, on the hard court, you're not going to see any man. On the glass, you're not going to see any man. So that movement, that advanced, that technology is necessary. But the thing is,
how effective?
Let's make sure that it's effective enough, and let's make sure that there are no human error. Because how will you deactivate it? How will you put it off? How will you put it off? On what ground?
Anyway,
that the umpire have to step in and say, come on, something is going wrong. What's going on? That's when they now have to check and discover what was happening. That it was off. Deactivated.
Anyway, this is human error. You can't take it out. You know how much I hate technology.
But it changes history. That's the funny thing about human error. It affects history. It affects results.
Because
it does
now, when let's take it to football quickly before we go back. When the issue of Frank Lampard happened at the World Cup,
the goal line technology,
and then it brought the goal line technology and what we're enjoying, because of course that goal entry would have changed the entire trajectory of that game against Germany.
Yeah.
So all these errors are why we are seeing new technologies coming into sport and helping the sport. Even though to a large extent, sometimes I feel it slows the sport.
Even with the technology,
it does.
It takes away the emotions. It takes away the. I know how much I hate when
because I don't know how I will celebrate finish and then you come back and then you tell me that
I'm one of those who doesn't want VR. See, the human error.
Yes, because you want Arsenal to win.
The human error.
Go on.
The human error makes the game more interesting because it gives you more things to talk about.
Again.
Exactly.
It affects history too.
We agree, but as the technology taking out the error completely, that's how it goes. It can never. So what is the?
No, but it reduces the human error.
Let me explain.
It reduces the human error.
When a goal was scored in the Premier League, the Premier League, about that game, I couldn't see it. But VR could see it. Why didn't VR intervene? They said, no, it's not the job for VR to intervene for goal. It's for the goal line technology. We get it watch. And that goal did not count. Yeah, and that count was wasted.
Yeah, it was.
Now we're looking at the issue. Let's go back to tennis a bit. The electronic line calling.
Yeah, the electronic line calling.
You know, if maybe they discover that, it happens. She complained not once, not twice, until they were to check.
And I says here, right?
If they had checked after the first time she complained, would I not be talking about this? It was off. But they allow it. See, my problem with technology is this: is abilities for. I don't think it's human being that controls this technology.
Simple. No, you said it all.
Now, so
you said it all.
Because
you can't take away that human error. So because human being are controlling it, the human error that you're talking about that makes the game
still in the game.
It's still there.
Exactly. So human beings should be human beings.
No, but it has reduced. Like as you say, it has significantly.
Before we talk about, let me digress a bit.
No.
You look at a video. Okay.
Before that, I just want to make a simple comparison here. Compare it with the human, with the what they call it, line judge.
It's more safer. I think it's more safer. But let's look at
the
this.
line judges, right?
Even in rugby, even in football, you look at a call on video, you have a different opinion to me. The same video we're looking at. A referee will come and tell you this is the reason why he gave it. You see something similar, and I'll give you another. And trust the Premier League
so you can never
writing
take
the pistols.
You can never take away the human error.
Take it away.
It has reduced the human error.
We cannot
I agree.
disagree that it has reduced.
But it has
there are matches.
I listened to the guys who brought the VR and said the aim is to eradicate.
No, not to eradicate.
No, that was the exact word they used when
they
first
came out.
It cannot be eradicated.
The fact that a human will still sit down
to watch the VR and say, please get us our line judges back. Please, thank you very much.
No.
Well, let's go to the main game on the court. Let's start with the men where Carlos Alcaraz, of course, are defending champion.
Absolutely.
Defeated Andrei Rublev in 4 sets.
Yeah.
Performance.
But the first set was crazy. The first set was crazy. He lost, and I was like,
I think watching that game, I said I was angry.
Was Rublev tired? Because I felt in first he was in control.
That was what I just want to say.
Was he tired?
Do they allow the person Alcaraz to intimidate them?
Is it psychological?
You understand? You see,
so the first game was so superb.
Sincerely speaking, it looks like it was his day.
Exactly.
It looks like
for the first set.
It looks like it was his day.
I was supporting Khachanov, but I was scared.
Look at it. First set, right? It was 4-1 at some point.
Yes,
and then it went to the tiebreaker for what?
They won the tiebreaker. They won. He still won the tiebreaker.
He won the tiebreaker.
You got the momentum.
How did he even lose? You understand?
How do you lose from 4-1?
How do you guys allow this guy get 3 games straight
and come back to you? From 2 sets that he comes back to me. Is it a mental block?
Game 2, they were 3-3. I'm talking about second set. They were 3-3. All of a sudden,
he capitulated.
Rublev capitulated and now win a game again.
Silly mistake. You just played the ball. You ask yourself, is something mentally wrong with Rublev? Because that was no composure. To me, it was his day. In my own word,
after watching the game, I told to a friend, I said, "This looks like a gift." He escaped this one.
You agree with now? It
was a gift.
But here is the truth, right? You have to give it to Alcaraz.
Yeah,
because Alcaraz has actually gone through the toughest run.
Yes,
so far.
He has
lost so many games. He has lost so many this year. We have to give it to him. I mean, see, he's mentally ready for this. He's mentally ready for this.
I think he wants
to be the face of
tennis. He wants to win.
Yes, he wants to
and I mean, he's ready now. You can see the conviction. Even the game one after.
Even the passion he's playing.
At some point, you could feel that was supposed to be a bad day for Alcaraz. If Alcaraz was playing against a Novak, against a Sinner, that yesterday game, he would have lost that yesterday game. But somehow, because you understand this and he's ready for the challenge, he wants to. He's the guy for the big game. step up his game at the end of the day.
Well,
and won convincingly.
In the quarterfinals, he faces
Cameron
British Norrie, who defeated
who is the only Briton.
Nicolas
Jari.
Jari.
In 4 hours and 27
Funny
minutes.
enough, Nicolas Jari is my player of the tournament. I was thinking for Senka of Brazil would be the guy. For two of them are
Jari
South Americans.
took this guy
Jari
Cameron
from Chile.
all the way.
Jari from
4
Chile.
hours.
5 sets.
5 sets all the way.
I think they even came second. Wait, no. Okay, they played it. No, it was. They had to come back the second day, right? I think their game was suspended. They had to come back the second day.
No, I know they was played.
It's my player of the tournament so far.
The guy took Cameron Norrie. Norrie couldn't believe what hit him.
From look, just go and check the number of players, the number of heavy players that he has
knocked out. Yes,
knocked out. Coming into this competition, right? The person that people are actually looking forward to is João Fonseca, the Brazilian guy, 18 years old, giving everybody the vibe of what's his name, Alcaraz, and we're thinking he's going to be the guy that will say anything. He's gone already. I think this guy was Lorenzo Sonego already defeated him. If I'm not mistaken.
That was even shocking. My own is not he went. He was knocked. I was who beat him. It was why just not come on, man.
But Jari was the guy that
Jari was fantastic.
Jari has done so well for himself.
Norrie is coming up against Alcaraz. It's still Alcaraz. I mean,
Alcaraz all day long. All day long.
Well, for the first
all
time.
Day long.
No, for the first time. No, yeah, I agree with you. But for the first time, right, you see good number of fans supporting someone else
aside from Carlos
because
Alcaraz.
Each time he plays, he has
the home fans.
Each time he plays, the home fans behind. But each time around, they have their own. And I think he's the only British player that is still remaining.
Yes. Oh, God.
Raducanu was there. She was knocked out.
Raducanu is knocked out. Sonny Carter knocked out. Dan Evans knocked out. Who is left?
Nobody. He's only British. But in the two categories, he's only British on that.
And so the fans will come, they are full support, but they will go back home crying and weeping. I think he can't. No, what I saw against Jari, I think Alcaraz will have a good day.
Yeah, he should. He's a better player. We all know.
By far.
We all know.
I don't think we even drag him all the way. I don't think we drag him all the way.
He might. I mean, he's playing at home.
Anyway, that's and exactly the fact to just be that fuel he needs to to go all the way.
You are still expecting him to go all the way, or you still think that?
I still feel there's going to be.
If he gets to
purple patch, who is the purple patch? I'm looking at all the. I know
Novak is not in his rank. Novak is
not in his rank.
So I'm looking at the purple patch.
I think we should be looking at the likes of Taylor Fritz.
Exactly.
Taylor Fritz
is likely opponent in the semi-final.
Ben Shelton too is not a bad guy.
Ben Shelton is not a bad guy.
Can actually give you that surprise. He's the guy for the majors.
Yeah.
He's the guy for the major. I love the way he played tennis with style, with this confidence.
Swag.
So it could be either of these guys.
He's giving that the curious style.
Ben Shelton is there.
Exactly, Ben Shelton. But come on, I look at the guys behind. I don't think not Fritz, not Shelton can stop him.
But let's go to the women's category quickly. Aryna Sabalenka advances.
But before going to the women's category, I think I need to say this about Sinner.
Yeah.
Play 3 games, considered just 7. I mean, play 3, what they call it, 3 matches so far, considered just 17 games. In the 9, he has only 9. He has spent less than 5 hours on the court.
What did I call him?
It's been so easy. You understand?
I call him a Ferrari. When it comes, I rate my play. He's a Ferrari. Yeah. This guy is more like a Mercedes. He's a rough guy. Alcaraz, he tries to go through the game. Reminds of gives you that.
For Sinner,
but Sinner is a Ferrari. He glides through.
I know the argument is the guy he has actually played against. But come on, forget it.
Come on, you have beat what's said before you.
Dropping.
You have to beat what's said for you. Yes.
Dropping how many? Just 17.
Yeah,
the lowest we've seen before now was Federer 19.
Sinner makes it so easy. So easy.
Getting to the quarterfinal, we're dropping, considering just 17 games. Come on,
it's huge.
I think and
you've not gone beyond round 3. I mean,
we've not gotten to the quarterfinals. Yeah. And I'm talking about that. Let's also bring in Novak Djokovic's 100 win in Wimbledon.
Yeah, Wimbledon. I
think is look at the numbers. 90 at the Roland Garros. 99 also in the US Open, and then I think 100 also in the Australian Open. I think Novak,
one of the biggest.
Novak
is greatest, but his antics did not help him.
Exactly.
Shenanigans actually.
Because I don't know what you talk about.
Let's be honest.
Because he would have gone to those numbers with those shenanigans.
Let's be honest. Yes. You look at Roger. Everything Roger won, Novak also won.
Clay, yeah.
Look at Nadal. Of course, he dominated Clay. But Novak also showed his own part. This guy practically won everything every other person won. And dominated in all aspects. But when you talk about the sport, unfortunately, it doesn't still come first.
Sportsmanship is what matters in all these things. Sportsmanship. And he lacks that.
He lacks it.
He lacks sportsmanship.
I don't know why he flogging a dead horse at the end of the day.
I
agree with
when
you.
When he had that issue a few years ago in Australia.
Yes.
Ahead of the Australian Open where they were saying whether he would deny.
Yeah, he would not play.
I think he later played.
He did not. He was imported.
He was imported and all of that. So
ever
since then, not taking the vaccine. Ever since then, he's had a stain.
Before then, I think during the COVID, he had issue during the COVID.
Yes.
Then that apart, the lack of sportsmanship. He's one guy that if he knows your momentum is strong,
he can take
he can just do anything just to break you down.
Take a toilet break.
He can say he's injured. He can take. He will just take a long break. Even in game 1, I think something like that. I think at some point he was attended to. Is it?
He was attended to, yeah.
He was attended to.
But he was really
is
injured.
him for you. Now, so because of that, he has earned himself a bad reputation for being
bad boy,
for behaving an unsportsmanlike.
That's the word, yeah.
Well, we hope it changes. Let's quickly
go. No, let me just round it up, right? Yeah. So, for him, 100 wins in Wimbledon, right?
He's the greatest.
He might get to, because, I mean, the first is 120, the second is Federer, 105 wins in Wimbledon.
Yeah.
With what we are seeing right now, if he's going to come back next year,
he might break Federer.
Yeah, definitely.
He might break Federer.
He'll break Federer. I mean, Federer, certainly. If he's going to be there, if he's going to be there, he'll certainly break Federer. But 120, he might not be able to break that 120. But Federer, we're talking about just 5 more. And he has 3 more games to go here.
Yeah, 3 more games.
3 or 4? No, 3.
3 more.
He plays round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, and then
final. Yeah, so 4 more games here. So he might even
get. But he has
to win everything. Yeah, he has to win the Grand Slam to get.
Or get past Sinner.
Of course, he has to get past Sinner. But we're saying even if he didn't get past Sinner, he's going to reduce the number significantly. Just going to be left with probably 2 or 3 at the end of the day.
Let's go to the women's category. Aryna Sabalenka through to the quarterfinals after beating Ellis Martins of Belgium.
Yeah. Easy busy.
Very, very easy.
I don't know.
I think she's taking this.
See,
one
there
game
has
at
not
a
been
time.
competition in the WTA category. In the women category. The only surprise for me, because Khachanov is gone now. But Khachanov is got the defending champion. And she's doing but she has always been around here. She'll get to the final, she'll get to the final.
Semi-final 2023. She's there or thereabouts, but this not been
same
her.
thing. Okay, same with Iga Swiatek. She has never stayed beyond the first week on grass.
Yes, on grass.
She hates grass. No, she always hates grass.
So,
but she's doing well right now.
She's doing well right now.
She's in the round of 16.
She's in round of 16 too. So, but their games has actually been. There has not been, apart from the upset we saw on the, because as it stands right now in the top 10, only 3 players. Navarro. Trying to remember the other name. Navarro. I'm trying to remember the other person that is still in the 10 category. Okay, Andreva. Yeah, Andreva. Then what was her name? Aryna Sabalenka. So these are the only 3 people in the 10th. I mean, among the top 10 seeded players that are remaining. So it's just since after the day 1, we've not seen so many surprises again. I think one thing that we have in the WTA is the leveler. Almost everybody's at par. That's not been this outstanding
work like it's somebody different.
I mean, in the men category, you talk about guys that are yet to drop set.
Exactly.
And you talk about guys that dug deep to win games. But in the men category, it's either you're losing badly or you're winning easily.
You're winning too easy.
You're winning easily or losing badly.
That way, yeah.
So it makes a bit 6. I think no control, nothing, just straight up. Few games are actually. But I think we'll get funny enough, the games that were a bit interesting were not involving the top guys, the top ladies.
Yes. But I think we'll get to the semi-final when the big hitters start hitting themselves. Semi-final, we begin to get that kind of game we're expecting.
I mean, from round 16.
Siegemund, come on, 104 ranked.
Rank 104 in the world.
You should beat her.
She's not even among the 32.
Yeah.
She's not even among
seeded player.
So she's unseeded.
Yeah,
so it looks like it's setting for her to get to the
final.
Of course, she should get to the semi-final. And the two people that won the last 2 categories, the 2 out of the 3 persons that won the last 2 category, what's her name? Rybakina is gone.
It's gone. Rybakina is gone already.
Khachanov is gone.
Is gone.
So she's just
I think the only person to be Sabalenka is Iga Swiatek.
Yeah, is Iga Swiatek. Well, Andreva is actually doing something that nobody believes she's doing.
She is.
Then Pavlyuchenkova too has been an amazing player.
After taking out the British.
Yeah, Raducanu. Yeah, she's been an amazing player.
The home favorite. Maybe the home favorite.
Then another person that we give it to him Navarro.
She's also a very good player.
So I think, instead of girls that are still remaining, ladies are still remaining. Amazing. Probably going forward, we'll see some amazing games because it's been so flat for me, particularly.
But at the end of the day, man, like I said, in the ladies category, I'm not going to be surprised when if somebody else goes ahead, Navarro goes ahead, and
But I'm not expecting anyone else aside from Zabelanka.
Are we expecting a new Grand Slam winner in the women's category?
Of course. If Zabelanka wins, as it stands right now, of course, anybody that wins right now is a new person.
But I told you before the start of the week that I said I'm going for Igor Fiontek.
Yeah, you said going for Fiontek. I'm not going for her. But she has actually surprised me.
Yeah,
she has surpassed where I've placed her.
I think why I picked her. Why I picked her was why I picked her because of the preparations to Wimbledon. You know the Hamburg
grass. She got to the final.
Absolutely.
She lost.
She showed some
Now she got to the final.
Yeah,
that was her first time getting to a final on grass.
Everything grass. So I knew that she was going to punch above her weight.
Well, we're going to monitor our proceedings from the Wimbledon in England, whether it's going to be of course a new winner expected in the women's category for the men's,
and by God grace too.
in the men's
category.
For the men's category, defending champion, of course, are aiming for his 3rd pet. Talking about Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner.
If he does that,
world number 1 to contend with, and of course the man who wants to break Steffi Graf record of 25 Grand Slam. Talking about Novak
Guess what?
Djokovic.
Guess what? Let me just say this, right? If Alcaraz is going to get to the final, I'd rather have Novak in the final than Sinner. Yeah, because Novak has defeated him a couple of times. So Novak actually, and Novak has shown
I'll keep both statement. The next time we will be back here, we'll be looking at the semi-finals of course, the Wimbledon, because by then we would have had a clearer path.
Yeah.
Who is in the semi-final and who possibly advances to the final of the Wimbledon. I hope you are enjoying it. The culture, the ambience. It's just lush green. It's lush green. And
trying to then imagine they are suspending Marty because it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Most of it is 11 o'clock.
It's over.
They don't want to see.
No, it's cream and proper.
Make I break them down. Don't shout. They don't want to disturb neighbors with this sleep.
Where they sleep. Imagine.
Don't be like you. Don't they disturb people for night? Say you they play music, they jam off. You don't see how people they behave for civilization.
That their code is located in the midst of your community.
But in Nigeria, they will just throw the stadium in one bush.
We're talking about, of course. I mean, that's part of the reason why guys like Australia, I think, is a bit apart from town.
Yeah.
So
away from town.
but common safety of people at the same time.
You know, how many land in UK? When they want to throw this. Of course, off the pitch are brought to you by Azar Studio. Remember to follow us on all social media handle. And if you're watching this video for the first time, hit the notification button so that you can always be reminded about our videos and when our content drop. Off the pitch, brought to you by Azar Studios.